He accidentally fell into nuclear waste, but somehow, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, and his life completely changed from then on. Just as he got in his car to head home and change clothes, his whole body started trembling uncontrollably. The next second, he coughed up a thick, black goo. At first, he didn't think much of it, but once he dragged himself home, he couldn't stop throwing up over the toilet. Everything he vomited was the nuclear waste he swallowed, and a freezing chill had already taken over his body. Even wrapped in blankets, he still felt like ice. But strangely enough, when he woke up the next morning, his body was completely fine again, and he felt stronger than ever before. Realizing he was okay, he went to work at the construction site as usual, but suddenly got caught in a gang shootout. A bullet sent him falling straight from the 18th floor. From that height, anyone else would have died instantly, but Jake just blacked out for a few minutes, then suddenly woke up on the ground. He was stunned for a moment. Didn't he just fall from the 18th floor? How was he still alive? Thinking the gang was probably still upstairs, he took off running home. Unexpectedly, he ran dozens of kilometers without even breaking a sweat. It felt like his body was overflowing with power, but Jake didn't have time to think about that. He needed to deal with the gunshot wound on his shoulder first. But right then, his downstairs neighbors started yelling non-stop. That instantly made Jake furious. He just wanted to tell them to keep it down a bit, but with one punch, he actually punched a hole through their metal door. The neighbor freaked out and ran away. Only then did Jake realize something was off with his body. To confirm his suspicion, he pulled out his heavy wardrobe, and with just a light push, it flew several feet across the room. Then he looked at his radiator, and with one pull, tore it clean off the wall. A small squeeze with his hand crushed it into something like an accordion. It was clear now, after falling into that waste, he had somehow awakened superpowers. To test it even more, broke and desperate, he suddenly had a bold idea. Late that night, when everyone was asleep, he put on a mask and walked straight to an ATM, then started smashing around it with his fists. Finally, with a strong pull, he ripped the heavy ATM right out of the wall and carried the whole thing home. He then went to a convenience store, bought a bunch of ice cream, and filled his fridge to the brim, then started to change the dressing on his wound. But to his surprise, the bullet wound had completely healed, and his muscles looked even tougher than before, like he could punch straight through a bull. Just as he was processing this shock, a sudden scream came from next door. To see what was happening, Jake slowly stepped outside, only to find a group of thugs harassing the woman downstairs. Jake, being a quiet and kind guy, didn't dare to intervene. He pretended not to see and kept walking, but the gang leader suddenly took offense and slapped him hard, telling him to get lost, then grabbed the woman and dragged her inside, planning to have his way with the beautiful young girl.